In order to solve these types of problems and find the h and the k, we have to look at the two different types of um, quadratic equations that we see. The first type looks like this, where h and k are numbers. So like if we look down here, x minus 4 squared plus 2. These are the easiest type to get the vertex for, both the h and the k, or the x and y coordinate. The vertex is literally just the h number followed by the k number, the k being the number out here after the parentheses and the squared. So for instance, in this first example, x minus 4 squared plus 2, the h is 4, the k is 2, so that is my vertex, h and k. One thing you have to be careful of, though, is that notice in the general format of these there's a minus in the initial parenthesis. So if there's a minus in the parenthesis, we kind of ignore it and the number is just the 4. But if there's a plus, that means that we need to change the sign of our h in order to get it. So in the second one, where we have x plus 3 squared plus 6, the 3 becomes a negative 3, and that's my h. The 6, the k, always just keeps whatever sign is out after. So my vertex in this second case is negative 3, 6. If this had been f of x equals x plus 3 squared minus 6, since the number outside here is minus 6, then our vertex in that case would have been negative 3, negative 6. So the h, the sign changes from what's in parentheses, but the k keeps its sign always whenever we're in this format. Now the other format of quadratic equations comes in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, which would be if we had FOILed out the x minus h squared and then combined like terms. When we do this to find the vertex, we have two steps. The first is to find the x value, or the h value, as it's called on the formula sheet, by the formula negative b divided by 2a. B comes from the term with the x to the first on it, and a comes from the term with the x squared on it. We don't use the c value when we're calculating vertices. Once we have this number, we have the h, we take that value and plug it back in for x, both x's in the original, and work it out, and that'll give us the y or the k coordinate. And we'll work through an example here so you can kind of see what's happening. But one thing to note, a lot of times there won't be a number in front of one of the variables, and in that case we know to just put like a 1 in there for temporary measure. So we have 1x squared plus 4x plus 3. We want to find the x value first, so we want to use the formula negative b divided by 2a. Well, our a is 1, our b is 4, and although we don't need it, we can go ahead and label our C3 as the letter C. So our x value, or our b value is 4. Our a value is 1. The first thing we have to do is work out the denominator of that little fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2. And then I divide that out. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So now we have our h, and we know that that is an x coordinate. So I can take that x coordinate and plug it back in here. So f of negative 2 would be negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 3. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 3. Now we just use a calculator, or do the math. 4 minus 8 is negative 4, plus 3 would be negative 1. Once we've plugged that x value in and calculated, that is our k value. So now that we have h and k, we know that our vertex here is negative 2, negative 1. So the thing to remember for this is initially you're just going to find an x coordinate, the h value in the vertex. Then you're going to take that h, plug it into the original function, work that out, and that will give you the k, and then you'll have your vertex.